Love, beautiful and precious. Sometimes people marry for love, but others try to marry by force. Like me, who was forcibly married to me and my best friend against our will. And in order to put the ring on me, they had to chase me down. Now, how did that happen? It was not really a civil marriage or anything legal. I was in what in Mexico is known as a quermes, where one day at school, the mothers and the students put their stalls of food, water and various things. Among them, a very typical one is a port where they sell marriage certificates and you can get married with your certificate and ring. They were children's games. Where I was between 1 or 2 of elementary school, at that time there was a boy named Daniel. He and I spent all the time together. We studied in the same class. Other recess, we were me and him alone. And we were also together when we were waiting for them to come and pick us up. We played with our stuffed animals. We even lent them to each other. I lent him my favorite stuffed animal, but he never gave it back to me. Daniel, I'm still waiting my stuffed animal back. I put it a name and everything. But the point is that because we were always seen together, for some reason the others said that we were a couple. Yes, we were 6-year-old kids. I never saw anything weird about it since I was a little girl, and even to this day I have always been friends with only men. In fact, I don't even have a female friend today. I only talk to guys. But the people in 6th grade, they always told us they are boyfriend and girlfriend and they are always together. And I said, no, Daniel is my best friend and I'm always with him because I like being with him. So when there was a kermesse, some girls thought it would be funny to buy a marriage certificate in our names and marry us without us being present. Yes, for some reason you could marry anyone without needing the other person's approval, or that they were there at least. At the time, I was separated from Daniel, probably with another guy or eating, when I was notified that I was married and had to put on the ring. I was confused because I said that I had not given my consent for that, so I asked if it was Daniel. I was already going to slap Daniel, but they explained to me that no, that it was some girls that always chipped us. I accepted the explanation, but I still didn't want them to put the ring on my hand. But they were insistent. They were so insistent that I started to run away from the girls who were handing out the rings, so I was running for minutes. But there were several of them against me, so they caught me. The tenacity of those girls was impressive, but when they put the ring on me, they told me something funny. They complained that I was the only one they had to chase out of the kermesse to put the ring on. In fact, Daniel was told, "Hey, they married you with Cynthia," and he said, "That's fine," and put on the ring, while he waited in the distance for them to catch me. Although I found out later why Daniel didn't put up any resistance. On the contrary, he seemed happy. At school, when I was separated from the groups or I was in the classroom, I had a feeling that someone was always looking at me, and I felt super paranoid because I would look around and never see anyone, but I felt that someone was looking at me. until one day my mother came super early to pick me up, so much so that I hadn't even left class, and she was there watching me. And when I left the classroom to go with my mom, she told me, "Oh, how Daniel was watching you." And I asked her what she meant. She told me that while she was watching us in the classroom, he was always looking at me for minutes, and he barely blinked. I questioned her because every time I turned around, I could never see Daniel looking at me. That's because as soon as he sees that you are going to turn around, he very quickly pretends that he is not seeing you, my mom answered. So that's how I found out that the feeling that someone was always looking at me was real, and Daniel was the one who did it. Although I decided to act as if I didn't know anything, as always, because what else was I going to do? I had promised myself to have a relationship when it was worth it, because I didn't see the point in dating someone to end it in 2 days or something that wasn't serious. Although this might sound very unnatural for a 6 or 7 years old, I can give you another example of another thought that you might not see in a 4 years old. When I was in kindergarten, I was given homework, and one of the first things I did when I got home was to start doing it instead of eating or playing. My mom would tell me to eat and I would say no. How could I play or eat when I had to do my homework and I had my responsibilities, and then I would do what I wanted to do? My mom just looked at me funny because she never forced me to do my homework. On the contrary, she told me that I didn't have to put so much pressure on myself with my responsibilities. But that's how I was when I was little, and it was an idea that I instilled in myself. So the above about my 6 or 7 years old self doesn't seem so strange to you, does it?